name a teammate that you think you can get a hit off of.
I have no idea. I'll go Clayton Beater.
When's the last time you swung, by the way?
Senior year of high school.
So you want your first at bat in 5-6 years to be against Clayton Beater. That seems like a recipe for a disaster.
It probably is.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB and they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granato. Steve, happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed. It is a happy Friday. Of course, you know it's Fanmail Friday. That's coming up later on in the show. But we know why you click this. We know why you're watching and listening. Richard Fitz is here today to talk with us. We had a great conversation with him. I don't want to bury the lead. I don't want to do nothing. Let's just go ahead and get right to it. This is the number 8 prospect in the Yankee system, right-handed pitcher, Richard Fitz. Thanks for joining us, man. Wanted to start with some fun in the offseason. Getting hitched back in December. Congratulations, first and foremost. But how's that been going, man? Especially now, first season in baseball with a wife. I know that's always a juggling act.
Yeah, it's been great. We were very excited to get married, and we're from the same hometown, so everything went super smooth with the wedding. And she was actually teaching for the first part of the season, but now that the school year's over, she's fully traveling with me. So it's really nice to actually feel like a married man having my wife on the road with me. So it's been really good having her around, and been pitching a little bit better the past couple of weeks since she's been here. So we've been messing around that she's my good luck charm.
I know that, like, I was with the Rail Riders last season in the radio booth with them. So you kind of get that. That was the first time I'd been to Double-A. Obviously, I know you're in Double-A this year, but like I think this is the level of which you start getting, oh, this is like real life. Like you're traveling with families. I remember Rob Brantley's carrying his kids around every day. And we're just like, oh, this is very, very real.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of the season, you just said that it's picked up since your wife joined you, but how is your season going?
It's going well. The biggest thing for me is I'm staying healthy. That's what I'm super excited about. That's what I'm always going to be happy about is health. And if I can pitch well on top of that and develop every single week, then everything's going well. And right now I'm feeling like I've hit a stride where I'm starting to figure out some things, and that really excites me for what the future holds.
Yeah, I know that you had worked a lot down at the complex in Tampa, like kind of developing your pitches. Like what was that experience like? I mean, obviously an Auburn guy, I know that's a big school and I know they take this stuff very, very seriously, but what was it like for you to kind of go from, NCAA development to pro development, especially with the Yanks?
Well, going from college to the Yankees was very eye-opening. We did a lot of things at Auburn that were awesome, and I thought we were doing the most. Then I got to the Yankees, and my horizons completely changed. So it was basically like drinking water through a fire hose at the start, because I just didn't know everything. But I'm starting to learn, and as I understood the concepts, everything kind of just went from there. So it's been really cool being with the Yankees. They have a lot of smart people that can kind of edge you along as you don't quite know the vocabulary and everything like that. But once you do, it really helps guys develop. And I've seen it just in my game really move forward even 2 years after being out of college.
Yeah, you're working with Sam Breen, obviously. How much are you guys in contact? Because, I mean, at the AAA level, we're seeing it, he's kind of coming by every now and then and working directly with the players. And honestly, that guy's brain is insane. Like his encyclopedia of he knew a scouting report on any player. It was really incredible. So like, what's it like? How much contact, especially when you're like with Tampa or you're with Hudson Valley, you're there for a second, but like how much contact are you having with Sam Breen?
We have a good bit of contact. He's here every couple of months in person, but we're able to communicate with him whenever we want. I mean, he's here to help us get better. And if I need to shoot him a text and ask him what's going on or how I need to work on something like that, I can either talk through Crawford, our pitch coach here, or I can talk to him directly. So it's a really good system that we have going on here.
One of the storylines going on in Double-A ball is the tacked baseball, the pre-tacked baseball. You've had plenty of success this season. So has that been, I don't know if I want to say an issue, but like, what's that been like to have to work with that tacked ball? Has it been a bit of a trial and error?
Honestly, I haven't really noticed. There's some balls that you kind of get that are a little bit more tacky or a little bit more just kind of rubbed up, and then there's some that aren't as rubbed up, and it's kind of just pitcher preference from that point. I like kind of a more new baseball that I can kind of just feel the leather on it, not necessarily feel the dirt on it. So I haven't felt much of a difference in the pre-tacked balls. If I'm being completely honest, I honestly didn't even know we were doing the pre-tacked balls in our league, but we're working with whatever we can just to try and do the best that we can in game and in the development side too.
You mentioned Auburn. You went to the College World Series as a freshman. Can you name one thing about that experience that you remember the most?
So a little background of that is my brother played at Mississippi State in 2013, where they went to the College World Series final. And I got to go there, and I was 13 years old, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever been a part of, because I was just sitting in the stands watching my brother pitch. And he played for Mississippi State. And then game one of us being in the World Series with Auburn, we played Mississippi State. And it was the night game. There were 25,000 people there at least. It was packed out. Biggest crowd I've ever pitched in front of, and it's pitching against Mississippi State. So that was a really cool experience. That's something I'll never forget. I'll never forget standing on the mound and trying to just not jump up and down, not go crazy, because it was really cool. And I got a double play like with one pitch, and went crazy, and everybody went nuts. So it was a lot of fun, and really cool going against a team that I watched in the World Series just a few years before that.
What was like, so I like I said, I was with the Rail Riders last season. I'm here in California. So I drove back after the season was over, and I stopped in Omaha. And one of the things that kind of surprised me was, maybe this is kind of a knock on Nebraska, I'm sorry, but the food was really, really good. And there was a lot of like really good, healthy food options. I was actually surprised, because you're traveling a lot and you kind of eat like bad fried food. You're stopping at Burger King and stuff. What was the spread like in Omaha? Like, do they feed the NCAA guys right?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was, I was trying all kinds of stuff, which my wife thinks I only eat the same foods all the time, but I actually got to try a few things, had a couple steaks, that kind of stuff. That was the first time I tried like Body Armor, because they were a sponsor for that. So it was a really cool experience, and just getting to try the new things, being in a new place. It's a lot of fun playing the same game that we play every day, just in a new place.
Yeah, for sure. Do you still keep up with Auburn? Are you still watching NCAA ball? I know obviously you guys are playing and stuff, but do you have a pick for this College World Series who's going to go deep?
Well, I don't know. There's some good teams, and it's really fun to watch it. I was watching Auburn, hoping they would get through their regional, and unfortunately they didn't. They've got a good team, and just couldn't quite make it this year. But I was rooting for them the whole time, and but they've got some good SEC teams in there, so I kind of root for the SEC, hoping they can kind of pull it out, because everybody wants to hate on the SEC.
Yeah, that not in the SEC, but that Stanford Super Regional was maybe one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen, especially in a Super. Hey, so this is a weird one. We're talking a little bit about college. So in preparation to this, full disclosure, I'm trying to find everything I can find on Richard Fitz. I found your LinkedIn account.
Okay.
And so this is a weird thing. There's been a couple of experiences I've had with players in LinkedIn where I've seen players like, let's say for argument's sake, list pitcher at Pittsburgh Pirates, and they'll put like a full resume kind of line for their LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn was basically empty. It just said, business student at Auburn. So that leads me to believe, was that a homework assignment?
It was. It was 2020, whenever everything was online, and it was build your LinkedIn account. And I dove in. I tried to put everything that I could, but as an athlete, a student athlete, I had absolutely no work experience. I have updated my resume though, not my LinkedIn account, but my actual resume. And I do have that pitch for the New York Yankees minor league system, that kind of stuff. So if I need a job in the off season, I've got that going for me, but my LinkedIn is not the place to look.
Now, see, okay, so they tell you, right, when you make your LinkedIn account or whatever, you make a resume that says, put like actual numbers like, oh, if you're like a social media manager, I increased engagement by 15%. Like, are you putting that on your resume where you're saying, I increased fastball velocity by 3 miles an hour?
I'm not, but I might need to. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you got to have
Show my
like the
work ethic or
actual
something.
analytical. The spin rate went up by 150 revolutions. Yeah, I think that's start making that pitch. Just start spreading that through the clubhouse.
Absolutely.
This episode is brought to you by one of our newest sponsors, Bird Dogs. You guys have heard me talk about Bird Dogs a couple of times already. They're the best place to buy men's shorts and pants that come in with a built-in liner. It's perfect for the summer. It's starting to heat up a little bit. You're going to need some new shorts to walk around town, to go to the beach, to go to the pool. Bird Dogs has your back. I've been wearing my first couple of pairs that they sent to me, and I really like them. I've been wearing them whenever I get out and it's not cloudy in California. They're super comfortable, they're versatile, and they're cheaper than other reputable brands. And of course, Locked On Yankees listeners have the opportunity to get some free stuff when you go to birddogs.com. Of course, they have a ton of different styles. You're definitely going to find the right fit for you. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. And when you enter that promo code LockedOnMLB, they're going to throw in a free Yeti style tumbler with every single order. Yes, every single order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. Do it. We're going to go ahead and do some rapid fire. So what we're going to do is I'm going to toss a couple of questions your way. Stacey's going to toss a couple of questions your way. And obviously it's rapid fire. Answer them as you see fit. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right. First one. Name a pitch that you wish you could throw.
Ooh, a knuckleball.
Yeah.
Or screwball. Like a knuckleball is fun for catch play, like just messing around with the guys. But I don't want to hit our catchers in the face because they would hate me after that. But a screwball would be really cool to throw, making it go the other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What never fails to make you laugh?
Dad jokes.
I heard that. I heard on a Somerset TikTok that you're like the dad joke guy.
I try to be. I try to make guys laugh. Try to bring some joy to the clubhouse as much as I can.
Speaking of that clubhouse, name a teammate that you think you can get a hit off of. And be careful.
I have no idea. I would say myself because I know I'm throwing a fastball to myself. I'll go Clayton Beater just because I want to stand in the box against him. He's a great competitor. We're competing against each other every day. We're similar kind of guys throwing a fastball overhand, stuff like that. And that's somebody I want to step in the box and hopefully I can get a hit off of him.
When's the last time you swung, by the way?
Senior year of high school. And my last at bat that I ever had was a base hit. So you want your first at bat in 5-6 years to be against Clayton Beater. That seems like a recipe for a disaster. It probably is. And I'll probably swing and miss 3 times, but that's okay. That's okay.
Just get the bat off the shoulder. That's all you got to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. What's the best ride at Disney World?
I'm a ginormous Star Wars fan. So anything in the Galaxy's Edge is fantastic. I loved the Smuggler's Run, the Han Solo Millennium Falcon ride. That was my favorite. I loved it. It's not necessarily one of those like roller coaster style rides, but definitely that one.
I think they call that like an experience or whatever.
Yeah.
Star Wars experience.
Yeah.
What's the last show you binge watched?
So me and my wife have been watching a show called The Neighborhood. It's pretty good. It's it has Cedric the Entertainer in it. Okay. It's got Schmidt from New Girl in it.
Oh yeah. My mom watches that show.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah,
we try and find some feel good shows to watch. Just right after games, try and decompress a little bit. So
for sure.
What's the last movie you watched?
Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. My roommate is Tyler Hardman, and he has never seen the Star Wars movies. So we started watching all of them, and we just started with episode 1 2 days ago.
So you started with Phantom Menace. You didn't go chronological. Well, I guess that is chronological, but
Yeah,
like
technically
release
that's
chronological. You didn't go
Yeah.
Hope and then on.
Yeah, I thought about it, but then my wife actually just made the executive decision. Hey, we're starting with episode 1. I was like, okay,
All right. Get to meet Anakin right off the bat. That way, nothing's a
Absolutely.
surprise. What did you? Oh yeah, what song is on repeat right now? What are you listening to?
Oh, anything The Weekend probably. So my most listened to song last year was "Less Than Zero" by The Weekend. I'm still kind of riding that song. It's really good. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. That's a good one. I like to throw it around in different directions, but usually just The Weekend.
I was gonna say, I'm like Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I remember that song from when I was a kid because I'm old. So that's I think that's cool that you listen
now
to that.
It's a throwback, Stace. It's a throwback now.
Yeah, well, I know. If you could strike out any player, dead or alive, who is it?
Ooh, that's a great question. Strikeout. Ooh, I don't know. I think Hank Aaron would be a really, really cool thing. One of the greatest hitters ever to live and play baseball, but also from Alabama. So
yeah, I was going to say
your
Alabama
that connection right there. Plus, it'd just be really cool to face somebody like that.
Oh yeah, you keep that baseball for sure.
Absolutely.
You've been in there. You've been in Somerset for a little bit now. What's the best thing to eat in Somerset?
Ooh. I don't know. I've been getting some pizza. Had some good pizza. I don't know many of the places' names around here. I've kind of been trying everything. So, but I've had a good steak. I've had some good pizza. Those are probably my two things that I've had that are really good here.
Nice.
Two very solid choices.
Absolutely. My go-tos for sure.
Yeah. What's the best thing to eat in your hometown of Helena, Alabama?
Ooh, so it's a little bit smaller of a town. It's growing more and more. So a few fast food restaurants have moved in. But we have this one place. It's owned by my old middle school basketball coach. He owns this little like grill and deli, and he has this burger. It's called the Husky Burger, and it's 2 8-ounce patties loaded up with cheese, bacon, whatever you want on there, and it is phenomenal. The place is called the Depot. It's a hometown favorite for sure.
That's a lot of meat, man.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Last one, Richard. Who's the best pitcher in Somerset this season?
Ooh, so we started off with Will Warren. He was really good, great teammate, great pitcher. I think we got Beater now here too. Or we've had Beater the whole time. Him and Yogo, I would say, are probably our 2 best guys. Yoendris Gomez. It's really fun to watch them pitch every week. They're guys that I'm trying to compete with every single day to be better than, or vice versa, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun having those guys around because we can, like me and Beater, are having a velo competition right now, trying to see who can throw the hardest this week. So if you see us kind of breaking our necks a little bit to look at the scoreboard after a strikeout or something, you'll know why.
So you answered everything right, Richard, except for the last one. You're supposed to say me.
Well, I want to be the best, and that's something I'm striving to be. But I'm looking at the best in other guys, and the best in those guys are what I want to be. So
awesome, man. Well, hey, man, thanks so much for joining us. This was a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was great. I enjoyed it.
Many thanks to Richard Fitz for joining the show. That was awesome, man. He is the sweetest guy on the planet.
He really is. I was pleasantly surprised at I shouldn't say how engaging he was. He was just so into it. I was so happy that we got him because he was a great interview. He was willing to answer everything and just, really nice about it. It was great.
Yeah. Many thanks to everybody at the Somerset media department for helping out, by the way, set that up. That was a whole bunch of fun. Let us know which player you want to hear from next, and we will try to get them on the show. Hey, it's Fanmail Friday. You guys already know that. Let's go ahead and jump into our first question here. This is coming from Jaime Cervantes 9533 saying, is Harrison Bader playing this week? Should Peraza be called up because Matt Crook has not pitched an inning? Stace, we're anticipating Harrison Bader getting called up from Somerset to play on Friday. Who do you think the move will be, the corresponding move?
I'm trying to think of the guys who were there because, I don't think they'll get rid of Bowers, right? Because he
No,
needs to
because they lose
play.
him. They
Yeah,
lose him, no options. I'm thinking Oswaldo.
maybe. Yeah, he might. Yeah. And he might actually be in AAA a little longer this time instead of 5 seconds, but like the
If
last
he was
time.
ever even there anyway.
Yeah, I don't even think he was even there. But yeah, Bader went 0 for 4 in Somerset. Not that that matters, but he'll be at Fenway. He should be fine. And just even having him there is so much better than not having him there.
Yeah. So I anticipate that. Peraza be called up over Matt Crook. The Yankees cannot do that.
Right.
Yankees' current roster is at 13 pitchers. They cannot have more than 13 pitchers. So it would have to be a corresponding defensive player move in order to get Peraza up to the majors, which I do not foresee happening. I don't know if Matt Crook's going to pitch. He deserves it, man. We talked about it yesterday, but man, he does. Just, come on, man. Get Matt Crook into a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jaime Cervantes, thanks for checking in with a question here today. Really appreciate it. Of course, we just talked about Peraza a couple of days ago. I will leave that link in the episode description if you want to hear more about Oswald's development and what Emily Messina has seen out of him this season. I'll leave that in the episode description. We're going to take a quick breather. You can catch the Red Sox series, of course, starting tonight on Sirius XM. We have more questions from you guys coming up.
Make your way to FanDuel because right now new customers can get a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500. That's $2,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel has great promotions every day, so there's always something new every time you hop in. The app is safe and secure, so you never have to worry about your money or winnings disappearing. And FanDuel will pay you instantly whenever you want your earnings. There's no better place to bet all the action this baseball season than America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and get a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Back now on Locked On Yankees. Hey, more fan mail questions for you guys. Don't forget, coming up on Monday, by the way, Miners Monday. You guys already know the drill. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that episode. Again, more questions coming your way. This one coming from our good friend Seja Nuzzi, who has checked in on a handful of occasions this season. Hello again. Saying, wow, for the last 50 games, Higashioka has been batting well above 300. Who should be full-time catcher for the rest of the season? Higgy or Trevino? Or should they play them like 50-50? What do you think? Stace, we just talked about this on yesterday's show, the catching situation in New York. We didn't get into this part of the conversation, though. Who would you pick? Who should play more, Trevi or Higgy?
See, with the catching situation, there's kind of like a dual thing happening there because as much as you'd like your catcher to contribute offensively, it also boils down to how comfortable the pitching staff is with which catcher. And I feel like 50-50 would be fair. I mean, you can't really work out 50-50 if there are an uneven number of games in the week, but I feel like it could be that sort of situation for these two guys where one is not way better than the other in either aspect of the game. But I feel like Trevino earned the spot to be starting catcher, so that's his position to lose at this point. But I wouldn't mind if they went to Higgy more. It's kind of either one is fine with me at this point. Do you feel that way too? Because it doesn't seem like there's much of a difference.
Yeah, I don't think they're vastly different. I think I'm more in the camp overall, just baseball managerial style, if you will.
Yeah.
I like to ride the hot hand a little harder than a lot of managers do. For better or worse, I think you ride the hotter hand. If a guy is going well, I think you get him more at bats to try and spur that offense. Yeah. I ride that harder than most do. So with that being said, I prefer Higgy right now. Sejunaji, thanks so much for your question. This one coming from Bob Mafucci, great name, 1223. This is still in the catcher camp, Stacey. Regarding catchers, what is the time frame for Austin Wells to be MLB ready? Seems like his talent is worth waiting for. In the meantime, the other bats in the lineup need to do their bit. Thank you, Bob, for your question. Stace, remember, Wells is getting his first taste of Double-A ball this season. He started the season injured and then as soon as he got activated from the IL was like Babe Ruth incarnate. So great to see that. And he's still swinging well, obviously not at the same clip, but he's still a few years away. So I imagine he's probably going to stay down with the Patriots all season unless something else happens at the major league level where the Yankees need to call back Ben Rortvedt. Rodolfo Duran is doing a nice job behind the plate as well with Scranton Wilkes-Barre this season. So we'll see if he does catch fire again and sustains it. He may get to AAA this season. I wouldn't bank on that. I imagine they'll allow him to stay in AA all season long and then maybe start next year in AA and potentially work up to AAA. So I still put him at 2-3 years away here before he's super MLB ready. But if the Yankees make moves at the catching position, and need a guy, Austin Wells is not a terrible choice. So we'll see. Thanks, Bob, for your question. Stacy, this is coming from a newcomer. It's Let's Go Yanks. This one asking us, I know DJ hit a home run versus the Mets in game 1, but do we have a DJ problem? Let's face it, he's been just average for 2.5 years, dare I say below average, at least at the plate. Defense still great, but a few lollipop throws recently from third has me questioning defense too. Stacy, how are you feeling about DJ LeMahieu?
I'm sad because he was so great when he first came over, and these past couple of seasons have just been a nightmare for him. And I feel like maybe the hitting problem is starting to affect his defense just slightly, because we talk about that a lot, where when a guy is struggling at the plate, it sometimes just affects his entire game. But I feel like he did pick it up a little bit because he did have that home run, but he also had a double in the second game against the Mets, and he was looking a little better at the plate. So maybe this is putting him on an upward trend. Let's hope. But I feel like he also had injury problems, and I feel like DJ can get things going. Don't expect 2019 DJ LeMahieu, but I feel like if he gets things going and he's more toward average as opposed to below, it'll be a big boost to the lineup.
Yeah, I think you're just looking for league average out of him, especially when Bader is back here in a second. But I also feel like something that's working against DJ is getting him at bats, because the Yankees are so desperately seeking offense. You can't really wait for somebody to just come around as the leaf blower comes directly into Stacey's room.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. So I think that, you kind of have to, again, ride the hot hand, like how my mentality is when it comes to putting a lineup together. Not that there's anybody that's like drastically better than him right now. But, as soon as somebody starts going, you got to ride that because you need all the offense you can get. So,
and that's the problem, right? Because who are you going to put at third? Donaldson? Because he's not doing anything offensively right now either. And it's kind of like,
pick your poison. Let us know, who would you pick right now to play third base in the comment section down below. Thanks for your question. Let's go Yanks. This last one is a two-parter, essentially, from two different people, essentially asking the same question. Leaf blower, back in action. So let's Stace, just mute yourself. Okay, here, I'll read this question for you. This is coming from Gold Cool 5. Do you think the Yankees will move on from Luis Severino sooner than later if he doesn't find it quick or continues to get injured? Do you think they still see something in him? And then this one that's essentially the exact same question from Teacher Sama, a good friend of the show. Around a week ago, I mentioned Sevy should be turned into a closer, and you said that he would be angry if his role was changed. But I think that as a professional, you should understand what your limitations are and adapt to your team's need, like Soriano moving from second to left field or DH, or Mariano for himself going from starting pitcher to the best closing pitcher in history. So if Sevy won't accept a change in his role, would you be willing to trade him for another starting pitcher? Stace, let's start with that first half of this. Do you think the Yankees are debating on moving on from Sevy? Personally, I'm going, what's the other option?
Right. And isn't he's a free agent after this season, right? So it wouldn't even make sense to do anything until they could just say at the end of the year, bye, thank you for what you've done for us. Go try and do something in free agency. This is 4 starts of him not being able to control the ball. His velocity's down. This is more than just him hitting the wall. Something is up with him. And it's kind of disturbing to watch. I don't know if it's, I don't know if we're going to find out in 2 days that he has an injury with the way the Yankees have been handling injuries lately. But, I've been saying this for 3 years, that I always thought that he could do better as a relief pitcher. But as you said, you feel like he would not accept that role. And I feel the same way. But I feel like the Yankees should also be like, this is what we're doing. This is what you're going to do. we're going to put you in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, that also just wouldn't bode for well for him in getting a free agent contract, right?
Right.
He's not going from starter to reliever in your last year of a contract. It's not exactly a resume line.
Yeah.
So
but then again, when you look at his history, I mean, he hasn't played a full season since 2018. And what is he going to get on the free agent market at this point with that injury history? And
if this keeps going this way, by the way,
yeah,
he'll probably get a minor league deal.
Right. Like it's not. I feel so bad.
No guarantee that he gets a major league contract. There's no guarantee right now.
Because Sevy is one of those guys, when he's on, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, but he's only on for like 2 starts at a time. And then he gets injured and something happens. And it's such a bummer because there was so much promise when he first came up and it just hasn't panned out the way it was supposed to.
Sure. And as far as willing to trade him for another starting pitcher, sure. But what do you get back?
Right. Right.
Well, that's the problem there. And again, of course, it has to be a major league guy.
Yeah.
You have to trade Sevy for a major league guy because you need that spot in the rotation right now. So right now, no, that trade is not coming. No one's going to take a flyer on Luis Severino. That's just not going to happen unless it's part of a package, right? Take Sevy, but we'll give you Austin Wells, whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
That would be more a package that's palatable for another club. Thank you guys again for all your questions. We love doing Fan Mail Fridays. It's our favorite episodes of the week. So thank you guys for being a part of the show. It's always a great time. You could drop your questions in the comment section as always. And you guys have been flooding so many that we had to pick and choose this week. So if we didn't get to your question, sorry, submit it again or submit a new one for next week and we will consider them. We had Richard on today. Sorry. That's what happened this week. Anyway, the Red Sox series starts tonight on SiriusXM. Of course, you can always listen to every game on SiriusXM. Coming up Monday, as we mentioned, it's Minors Monday. And, of course, a big announcement from Locked On Yankees. So make sure to hit subscribe and you won't miss it. And that's going to do it for this week's episodes. And for Locked On Yankees, I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you on Monday.